How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and welcome to episode 3 of trying to build up the Chicago Bulls in the LeBron era, fighting up against this chaos wheel. Last episode, there was a lot of bad that we somehow managed to turn into a lot of good. Isaiah Thomas is a Chicago Bull. We managed to nab him from the Kings middle of the season here, and he ended up putting up 23 points for us as a rookie. If you know anything about Isaiah Thomas, you know, or at least Isaiah Thomas in 2K, you know that this man can score the basketball at an incredible clip. He's almost like the modern equivalent of Gilbert Arenas in 2K, where he can just have these ridiculous points per game averages. I've seen him have an MVP season where he scored 36 points a game. So we're definitely hoping to see some of that development here. Still holding on to Carlos Boozer. He's been around the world a little bit here. We had him for our first season and then had to trade him away and then brought him back here in free agency. We also now have a super young Kemba Walker that we managed to make a trade for in the offseason. So he joins our squad and will run some shooting guard for us. And of course, we have Andre Drummond, a rookie that we managed to draft, joining us as well. So this squad I'm very excited about. It's young, plenty of potential. Can we make some noise this year? First things first is we have to spin our chaos wheel. It is how we are going to determine every single thing we do this year. Upon our screen is the chaos wheel. Still looking at 22 effects. Really would love to start getting some suggestions from you all down in the comments of things that you think would be good additions to our wheel here. Always looking for new and interesting ideas. And if you have any other ideas for videos that you'd like to see me make, drop those down below as well. And of course, while you're down there, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button by accident, why not? And help us continue to grow our community, reach some more people to join in on the fun here. As we are going to give our wheel a nice shuffle here, and we are going to get Season 3 underway. And we are already off to a trade here. And what are we trading for? We are trading for an awful contract here. Okay. And who from? As long as it's not us trading away one of our stars, we are fine doing just about anything else, I think, here. As we will make a deal with the Pistons here. I'll find a bad contract and be right back. I think very clearly here, Jason Richardson is the worst contract on the Pistons. He's not a bad player, right? By any stretch of the imagination, Jason Richardson's a great shooter, decent player. However, $11 million is star money, and he is very clearly not star talent and not going to get any better at 31 years old. So we have 5 potential offers here. Let's kind of sort through the garbage and find a gem of a deal, perhaps. So we've kind of adjusted one of the offers they put out for us here. We've gotten Anand Krishtik here, and the returning assets would be Todor Bazja, which I'm pretty sure is a completely auto-generated guy, and Jason Richardson. We're also giving up a 2017 first here, but we're not going to be playing by then, right? We're going to want a championship before that. So we're fine sending that deal out here. And, okay, so we have to give up a couple of random assets in return and a second-round pick. You've got yourself a deal, Detroit. We will take that deal. So I will see how that affects our minutes here, if it affects them at all, and we'll get them squared away as we will spin the games wheel next. Okay, so here's how we are going to set the minutes to start this season. We are moving Jason Richardson down to small forward, and as you can see, that actually makes him better. We got him to go up 3 overall just by moving him over to small forward, and he will slide into the starting lineup for us. So that's actually a pretty decent deal for us. We will have a pretty solid bench rotation, I think, as well. We got Kyle Korver, Carl Landry, Ronnie Brewer, CJ Watson leading the way for us, and Perkins ready to provide some minutes if we need them. I think this team might get off to a really hot start here. But let's see how many games we'll get to see of this team before something else changes. Okay, games wheel on the screen. Let's give it a good old spin and shuffle. A good old spin and shuffle it. How about we shuffle it and then spin it? That's what we meant to say. As we will only get to see 5 games before our next chaos spin. See you then. Okay, so 5 games have passed here, and honestly not the hottest start. Carlos Boozer did get hurt in the first game, so fortunately we are probably missing a pretty big rebounding presence, as Jason Richardson put up 25, 3, and 2 in his debut for the Bulls. I can't really complain. We just have to maybe continue to dial it in here, as we're only at a 47% chemistry rate. As we spin the chaos wheel again, let's hope that we don't have to demolish the best parts of our roster here. Another spin. What will it be this time? As it is coming down to starters playing 40 minutes, or is it going to keep on the trading again? We are trading again, and we're trading for a team's best player here. Oh boy. We saw in the Pelicans episode that was quite a difficult goal for us to achieve here. We do have some better assets, I think, in this universe, however. So let's see what team we're trying to make a deal with here, as we are going to be looking at a Clippers deal here. Maybe acquiring Blake Griffin, I think, would be the best player on their roster. In fact, I think we've had to try to make this trade before. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have no faith in this deal going through here to start with. It's Kemba, Kendrick Perkins, and a top 3 protected pick this year for Blake Griffin. Oh boy, so we are dealing with an untouchable here, and as we have seen before, it can become basically impossible here to make the deal, I mean, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. The trade for a best player option gets really sticky. The only thing that we could possibly do here, and I really don't want to do it. We're talking about trading one for another here, as we'll see. We will see. It would be Isaiah Thomas, and I would maybe give them this pick. That's all I would offer. And I would maybe throw in a second pick. I'll give them their pick in 2015 back. And a third pick is all I would consider here. Unfortunately, it's just not a deal that's doable. I mean, 3 first-round picks and Isaiah Thomas, and you're not interested in that. And unfortunately, I just can't change their mind. So we'll respin the teams list. We'll try to make a deal with a different squad. It got a little bit ridiculous last video trying to make this kind of deal work. I have faith, though, as we are going to make another deal with the Pistons here. So I think this probably is much more doable here. So we will see what the offer looks like, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I don't like this. I don't like the concept of this Pistons deal here, right? We've got Rodney Stuckey as the Pistons' best player here, and I either give up Isaiah Thomas, who's just younger, better, and going to be much better, and get a first from the Pistons, and give up Kyle Korver and make this deal happen. Or I give up Andre Drummond, get Greg Monroe, and I also give up Jason Richardson here. And that's what we do. And we give up a first as well. Greg Monroe is not going to turn into anything. He's just, he's a fine center. Literally just fine. Literally the most, just fine of center of all time. But Andre Drummond could develop into a pretty solid rebounder. I mean, he averaged 13 points, or he's averaging 13 points a game so far as a rookie, and 16 rebounds to go along with it. I think we try to get out of this deal with Andre Drummond still on our roster. I mean, I'm fine. You know what? I'm fine doing this deal. Do you want to take this? Okay, how about if I'll give you this Clippers pick as well. Jason Richardson, 2 firsts, and we take Rodney Stuckey home. Okay, so now the roster gets a little bit interesting here. I guess Kemba really just becomes a 6th man right now, which is insane to say considering the talent that he is, but I can't help what the chaos wheel makes us do. I can't believe the stuff we're doing right now. So I'm going to fix up the minutes, and we will have a pretty strong-looking roster here in just a second. Okay, so the lineup is going to be Isaiah Thomas, Rodney Stuckey at the shooting guard. We're going to let Kyle Korver play some small forward. Carlos Boozer will come back into the lineup just a little bit early from his injury. And then Andre Drummond, we will get to keep at that center spot. I think that deal is a win. And then you have Kemba Walker as your 6th man. Goodness. I think that's a nasty squad. Let's go ahead and spin the games wheel and see what kind of look we'll get at this kind of squad. All right, let's give the wheel a spin. A nice long stretch would be certainly nice, as we will get 15 whole games here to get our lineup dialed in here. So I will see you then. 15 games have passed, kind of an interesting start. We have collected 10 losses already. However, we've also been off to a little bit of a run of hot games here as Isaiah Thomas put up 25 and 11. Al Korver put up 24. Okay, Kemba put up 22 off the bench. We beat the Cavs in this game. I mean, man, 15 and 17 from Boozer. Oh, and then Andre Drummond's also contributing there in the rebounds with 11 and 15 and nine steals. What are we talking about? Anyway, that is a pretty interesting stat. All right, so we have reached the next wheel spin here. I don't know if I want us to change the roster up or not. I feel like we should be getting it together. I think we just continue to need to play better as a squad, but we will see if we can keep it together. Man, 9 steals out of your center is crazy work. How are you putting up that kind of performance as we are? I mean, at least we're not releasing our best player, but we're trading for a team's worst player. I can do that. That doesn't affect our roster too much most of the time. So let's spin the team's wheel and see who it's going to be. As long as the worst player also isn't like a super abysmal contract here, as it's going to be the Kings. It almost was the Pacers. So I will have the worst player on your screen here soon. Upon your screen is just a really whatever deal, right? If you feel sad about this, I really have some thoughts. But we're going to just take that deal straight up. No reason to sit and clamor about whether or not it's a good deal. And we will move on here to the next spin of the games wheel. Luckily, hopefully, I don't have to fix the minutes. It's looking like I am going to have. Why does it always do this? A short and a long stretch has been what we've gotten so far. What is it going to be this time? It's going to be 7 games. Okay, so I will see you here very soon. Okay, 17 games have passed here, and we're on to the modern-day Pelicans route here from Chaos last video, where we are looking to go 41 and 41, apparently, as we are 14 and 13 here after 7 games. I'm not really sure what we're missing. In our games where we're doing well, we are absolutely scoring the hell out of the basketball. But then we come up short here in a game against the Kings. I mean, I guess Isaiah Thomas and Kemba were really putting it up there, but Rodney Stuckey kind of letting us down. And honestly, the question is Rodney Stuckey really contributing all that much? Let's take a look here at the stats. So far this year, I mean, Isaiah Thomas is scoring the laces off the basketball, the rubber off the basketball, you could say. And then behind him, Rodney Stuckey's only averaging 13 at shooting guard. Unfortunately, he's just better as a point guard probably, but can't put Isaiah Thomas at shooting guard. He's way too undersized. I guess we'll have to continue to consider what we do here as we spin the Chaos Wheel one more time. Time for our mandatory shuffle of the wheel, and let's give it a spin. What will we land on this time? I mean, it wouldn't be nice for us as we're trading for something else once again. The trades have been plentiful as we are... Oh man, we're making a deal for a team's best player. Maybe this is a good time to use Rodney Stuckey. I wouldn't mind getting him off of the roster to acquire some better pieces here. We will see what team it's going to be. I mean, it can't be like a Heat. That would probably be an impossible trade, or maybe like the other great team from this era. Okay, yeah, let's go trade for like Tim Duncan. I'm sure that'll be real possible. Let's see what happens. This is a little reckless, I think, but we've got Andre Drummond and Rodney Stuckey in the first here for Tim Duncan and DeJuan Blair. Theoretically, I think this could really be a doable trade here, but let's see. Yeah, a whole lot of yap to tell us that they probably won't end up making this deal. I will maybe consider throwing in another first here, and let's just be stupid and throw 3. Yeah. Spurs aren't going to give up Tim Duncan, unfortunately. The championship contenders aren't really going to want to give up their best players, so let's go ahead and take a shot at a different team. It's one of those situations where do you really want me to sit there and bang my head off the wall for 45 minutes just trying to make a single? There's no way. We're not even going to sit there and attempt to trade for LeBron James. Okay, I think you and I can both agree that's not happening. There's no package on the face of this planet that could make that deal work. So we aren't even going to attempt it. The Heat aren't going to give him up at all. Unfortunately, that's just 2 really bad spins. I can't believe that here, as we will have to make a deal for... It tried to land on it again. Oh my god, as we will try to make a deal with the Nuggets, and I will be right back. So, I haven't done this in such a long time, but obviously I'm having some issues with my computer tonight where the setup for everything's different for some reason, and I'm struggling to switch between screens. I was doing some trading off camera, or trying to make some trades happen off camera. Yeah, you can see Carmelo Anthony as a Chicago Bull. So the package ended up having to be, we gave up both Rodney Stuckey and Isaiah Thomas. It's really unfortunate, and that's just what we had to do to make the deal happen. And as you can see, we've got Ty Lawson here in return, who, as you know, will probably not develop past what he is right now. I mean, old 2Ks made me think he was going to be a god, but it just never actually ended up being that way. Kemba will continue to run shooting guard for us, but Melo is our new small forward. He's in the prime of his career, averaging 27 a game, and now he becomes undoubtedly the best player on this roster. As you can see, we still have a really, really solid group of players around him too. As we look at the minutes, it's going to be Lawson, Walker, Anthony, Boozer, Drummond in the starting five. Kyle Korver as our sixth man, CJ Watson, Landry, and Perkins. This has been insane. We've also ended up mortgaging a lot of our future. As you can see, we are down to a very, very barren cabinet of picks. But you know what? I am happy with the roster we have on our team right now. However, if we have to make more trades, things will get a little bit more difficult, as we do not have the capital to really make a large deal happen. But let's go ahead and spin the games wheel. A nice long break would be so awesome, as I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get 7 whole games before something else happens here, so I'll see you then. Okay, so struggling a little bit since Isaiah Thomas left the roster, as we have not been able to put up any or a lot of winning performances, really. As, I mean, Carmelo's doing his part in these games, it would seem. However, the rest of the team not showing up behind him. But 7 games have passed here. Let's spin the wheel again and see if maybe we can help the team out some. You know, we could also severely hamper the team here, but that's the way the wheel goes, as we... We're just talking about how we need to keep draft capital. I swear this thing listens to what I'm saying to you guys and then decides that it's going to be a great time to make it even worse on me. We will see what kind of deal we are making here. Let's spin the teams list. Who are we going to end up trying to make a deal for our pick with? And it's going to be the Heat. It's going to be the Heat. The Heat are going to acquire one of our picks. I doubt they're going to give us anything good, but I will be right back. Okay, so I think the deal we're going to line up here is something that looks like this. We're essentially going to swap the pick we have this year for a pick next year and acquire maybe a decent player and just... Okay, sure. Okay, well, I hated that happened. Hated having to make that deal, but unfortunately, that's the way the wheel goes, and we will not have a draft pick for the honest draft, as we've had to give up both of those picks to make deals happen this year. But maybe we won't have to worry about an off season, but we will see how many games we'll have until our next spin. Something longer, like double digits. Can I see double digits? There's no way it's going to be 7 again. Okay. We do finally have a nice long break here, as I will see you in 19 games. Okay, so 19 games have passed here. We are 28 and 25. So not that bad, not that great. I mean, all things considered, as we look at our stats here, we still have a clear leading scorer, but I mean, the rest of the scoring just isn't coming. Maybe we need to look at the tendencies here, get Kemba to shoot a little bit more, embrace himself as a scorer. I mean, what is his shot tendency right now? Of course, Melo's shot tendency is high. Kemba's got 81 shot tendency. Let's go ahead and bump that up to 90. Let's go ahead and say, hey, you are the clear second option on this squad for now until we do something else crazy. Let's let you shoot the ball. Green light from us. In fact, once again, let me make sure that we've got our coaching presets in shape. So let's go ahead and spin the chaos wheel again. Let's see what's going on now. I mean, we're going to go ahead and shuffle this up again. We have not had a single effect, I think, that has not involved making a trade of some kind, as we are not going to be able to extend players this year. Oh, man. Let's take a look at contract extensions here, as we are kind of lucky that we are not able, or we are not in a position where that's going to hurt us. A lot of our players are under contract, maybe not Ty Lawson, but we do have plenty of players that are with us long term. We won't be able to make a deal for Kyle Korver, and that's sad, but I think we're fine giving him up. Everybody else here, we're fine letting walk if we can't extend them. So that is a rub the sweat off your forehead, take a deep breath out. We kind of dodged a bullet on that one. So let's go ahead and spin the games wheel here and see when we are going to spin next. Give me another nice long period. Let's let our team continue to build some momentum, as we will indeed get another nice long period here. I will see you in 17 games. We have passed another 17 games, and look at the turnaround for our team. Let's take a look at the stats here. Did bumping up Kemba's shot tendency make a difference? He is scoring the ball a little bit more here, 18 points a game, but the team, I think, is really just blending well together. We've got 80% team chemistry here, as we are the number 2 seed, of course, behind the Heat. Who would have guessed? As we reach our next spin point, we are very close to the end of the season here, so it could be spinning the wheel for the last time, but let's get into it. I mean, we have truly been blessed, I think, so far this video, not having a ton of really tough deals to make, as it's going to be a blockbuster. Okay. All right, who are we attempting a blockbuster deal with here? This is interesting. I mean, we've got a blockbuster trade asset in Carmelo Anthony, as we are trying to pull off a deal with the Rockets. Who do the Rockets even have in this era? Because Harden's not there yet, I'm pretty sure. So I'll be right back. Dude, look at this team. Look at this team, dude. How is there any sort of blockbuster trade to be had with this team? I would consider doing Ty Lawson for... Okay, so the Bulls, we need to give up a little bit more in the deal money-wise. You can take Ronnie Brewer, and then, I mean, give us your first this year? Oh my God, they're willing to take this? This is kind of a blockbuster, I would think. I mean, can we scam you guys for like a 2015 first? Would you take that? You're not getting it back for enough? What about a second? Okay, You can have this 2017 Heat pick. Yeah, I'm not attached to that. Okay. This is a blockbuster, considering the amount of assets that are going one way to another. We're giving up Ty Lawson for Kyle Lowry here. Kyle Korver's another player being given up in this deal here. We are taking Kyle Lowry away from Houston at the age of 26. He's not really developing in this sim, which kind of isn't true to how Kyle Lowry developed in real life. He really got better towards his 30s, especially once he joined the Raptors. But anywho, we'll also get Chuck Hayes out of this deal, which I don't hate as a depth piece. And then we'll get 2 picks and this guy. Yeah, that guy. And we'll give up a first from 2017 from the Heat, which we know probably won't be all that valuable. We'll give up Kyle Korver, Pops Mensah-Bonsu, who's not getting any minutes. I like this trade. And once again, I am surprised how simple it has been this episode. Every episode in recent memory has been anything but we continue to make the roster, I think, more deep, just better overall. So I'm going to fix up the minutes here, and then I will be back. Okay, so it's going to be Lowry, Kemba, Carmelo, Boozer, Drummond, with Chuck Hayes, CJ Watson, Perkins, and Tony Allen coming off the bench. We're going to let Tony Allen get some minutes here because we have a log jam of power forwards and centers. Don't really want them clogging up the rotation there. Let's spin the games wheel here for what could be our last time this regular season. Cruising right along. Will we be simming to the end of the season? 10 games. I think that might leave us with 2 games to go. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to count. Yep. So we can indeed spin the wheel one more time before the end of the season. So I will see you in 10 games. So 10 games have passed here, and right before we reached this game, a trade popped up on our screen. They were trying to give us back Ty Lawson. I guess they realized how much of a mistake that trade was. However, we are still looking pretty good here at 48-32 here, as we are 2 games away from the end of the season, but we are required to make one more chaos spin let's see what it's going to be. Okay, so we are on the chaos wheel here. We're going to give this one more shuffle before the end of the season. And then we are going to spin and see what we land on here. What could we possibly get here? As we're going to have to trade away a young player for an unk. So we will see what kind of unkage we are adding here. Let's see what team we are making a deal with. I mean, we can make this happen without having to give up any of our good players, I think, as we can't make a trade with ourselves, unfortunately. So let's spin that again. I mean, it's just a lot of work to remove and then re-add teams as we go from from video to video for each era. As we're going back to the Heat here, we'll see who we can make a deal for here that's ancient on their roster. I feel almost guilty doing this because Udonis Haslem is just a Miami Heat legend. Am I right? Everybody in the Miami Heat fandom loves this guy, right? Definitely didn't just clog up a bench spot on the Heat for like 20 years. But the young piece here is Otis Rice. He's 21, and we're acquiring 2 unks in return and also saying goodbye to Tony Allen, unfortunately. But that's the position we are in here, and we will take that offer. So I'm going to fix up the roster real quick because Tony Allen was indeed receiving minutes. So now we kind of have to decide here. I think Jermaine Taylor, somebody we required in one of the other trades we've made, will end up sliding in there to those 12 minutes. So let's go ahead and spin the games wheel here. Not many games left in the season, obviously, so as long as we don't land on one, we will meet again at end of season awards, which 9 games will definitely take us there. So I will see you in 2 games at end of season awards. Okay, so are you surprised? LeBron wins yet another MVP here, going 32, 8, and 7 this year with 2 steals and 1 block. As Damian Lillard wins Rookie of the Year. Who else was balling out this season? Anthony Davis also went pretty crazy as he also injures himself. Who's surprised? Not me. And then Bradley Beal, 17 and 3 or 4 assists. Not bad. Oh, 35 is a really gross number for you though. And then it's looking like a bunch of auto-generated guys did some stuff. Oh, great. And then our guy here, Andre Drummond, 10 points and 13 rebounds. Not bad, not bad. So Elton Brand wins 6th Man of the Year. Andre Drummond will win DPOY as a rookie. That's nuts. 13 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. I guess that'll win you DPOY as a rookie. And then most improved player is this Amish dude named Mike Bridges, I guess. Larry Newton's your coach of the year, and the Spurs also have the executive of the year. Derrick Rose continues to shine out, averaging 34 points a game on the Wizards. Oh my God, this just hurts. Hurts to see that Steph doing Steph things. Oh my God, okay, Steph blew up this year too, averaging 32, 5, and 8. Blake Griffin, almost made a trade for him yet again, averaging 26, 14, and 2. Boogie averaging 21, 13, and 3. On the All-NBA second here, it's Chris Paul, kind of dishing out the assists more than scoring here, only putting up 20 a game exactly. Russ not at really getting up to like his true prime levels of scoring, but that's also because they also still have KD and James Harden on this roster too. So really hard to imagine how anybody beats either the Heat or the Thunder here. We see Carmelo Anthony, our new acquisition here on the All-NBA second, as well as Tim Duncan. We almost made a trade for him as well. John Wall is on the third All-NBA team here with 22 points a game. Isaiah Thomas, once we traded him away to Denver, averaged 30 points a game. That was the kind of scoring numbers I was talking about. But Kevin Love, 21 and 15 rebounds. Amari, 24 and 9. Dwight with 18 and 15. Pretty decent performances here, as I think we'll see Andre Drummond on that all-rookie team, and that's good for us. Playoff time. Can we get out of the first round? I think we've got the team to do so. Let's go ahead and start simming some of these games here. We take the first 2, the first 3, and oh my God, that is like the worst possible injury you could be giving me right now. All right, we're going to fix this, and then I will be right back. Okay, so things look pretty bad without Melo in the lineup. Hopefully we get him healthy here very soon, as we will give Atlanta the gentleman's sweep to move on to round number 2 here. So that's positive news. And we will take on the Pistons in round 2. I mean, obviously the hope here is that we get Melo back sooner than later. In fact, I will probably be watching this like a hawk. As I can see, he is well enough to slide back into the lineup, and we are going to make that happen right away. We cannot afford to lose when I think we've got a squad that's capable of at least making a shot here, as we will win the first 2 games as Melo is fully healthy now. Detroit takes a game here. It takes 2 games here, and we will finish our business in 6. And this is a 3rd rematch, I think, between us and the Heat. Do we have what it takes here in the 3rd attempt to take them down, as the Thunder will have a Clippers team awaiting them that managed to take down the Spurs? Crazy stuff here, but who is going to take down the Thunder? Miami will take game 1 here, as we manage to take game 2. We take game 3. They take game 4. We take game 5. Oh, and it's going to be a game 7 between us and the Heat. Let's hop in here to the Simcast. Whoever wins here meets the Thunder in the final. And 160 is crazy. I believe that you mean 2 minutes. It's an 11-point game here. Do we have a chance? It's a 10-point game. And for a 3rd straight season, we are going to come up just short of the finals here. The heartbreak is real. The Heat are going to take games 1 and 2. The Thunder take game 3 and 4, as the Thunder take game 5 and 6 to win the finals. That's 2 years in a row that the Thunder take home the championship here, as we came so close here. Let's take a look at some of the stat lines here. We had some really good games from Kemba and Carmelo. Carlos Boozer definitely put his time in contributing to our success. Unfortunately, we just couldn't put it together all in all. And we will advance to another offseason. And like I said, this offseason now becomes very interesting, because it's not as though we have a Steve Nash as a Hall of Famer and will have his jersey retired, most assuredly. We will have to really figure out what we're going to do here, as I don't think we're going to have a draft pick at all, obviously. So we're going to skip to the draft results. We actually do have a draft pick. When did we get that? Oh, that's right. We acquired that Houston pick in that trade. But we don't end up in the lottery, so that's fine. The Nuggets have the 13th pick that we ended up giving them in that trade, so that stinks. And I believe, yeah, the Heat get a 25th pick from us. So not bad. I'll take that, honestly. As we will advance to staff signing, I think we could definitely use an upgrade at our head coach. Maybe we go at Avery Johnson here. Try to get ourselves an even better coach to help out the talent on our roster. Okay, I guess we won't get Avery Johnson. Okay, how about you, Mr. Harvey Kelly? There we go. So we will head to the draft now, which means we can spin the draft chaos wheel this year. I mean, we were probably going to spin it anyway and see what we can make happen, but with a draft pick this year, we are beholden to it, so I will see you in just a second. Okay, before us lies the draft chaos wheel. Plenty of effects that could either really help us or really hurt us, so let's see what it'll be this offseason, as I see that we are drafting a player at... was a position we don't need. Okay, so that's kind of a stinker. I mean, we have kind of a lot of positions that we don't really need. So that's kind of like, that's kind of whatever. We'll take that, as I will see you once we get in the draft. So we are here in the 2013 NBA draft. And you would imagine here in a draft class that's incredibly weak that we are going to see Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Lakers. And then the rest of the draft becomes, who do you take? It's Otto Porter at 2, Rudy Gobert at 3. Oh, man. Cody Zeller going at 4. Oh, my God. MCW at 5. Okay, so the Bucks trade up to 6 here, and the Magic are getting Zach Randolph, who I don't know how he ended up on the Bucks. Maybe that was a thing, and I just don't remember. As they will take auto-generated Sidney Maxwell here. Daniel Tice. Oh, God. Daniel Tice at 7. As the Cavs will take Bruce Blair at 8. Tony Snell goes at 9. Mr. Cardio Man himself. And then Trey Burke goes at 10. Michigan hero, Trey Burke. Dennis Schroeder goes at 11. Dennis Schroeder would have been nice at 15. Nerlens Noel goes at 12. Skip Gray, okay. Steven Adams, Shout out Steven Adams, one of the funniest NBA players I've ever seen. He goes at 14 here, as the Knicks will take Mike Muscala at 15, which brings us to our pick. Ooh, Seth Curry's an interesting prospect here. Of all of the players left, CJ McCollum is the best player on the board. And that's interesting because I would say that we don't really need a shooting guard. We've got Kemba Walker. So we could draft CJ McCollum and then just have this crazy developable backcourt where we could then make Kyle Lowry expendable, right? So I think that's just a slam dunk. We don't need a shooting guard, right? We've got a great shooting guard, but why don't we go out here and draft us a really probably underappreciated and really developable guy here? I mean, CJ McCollum's a star, right? He develops insanely well in the real world. We'll see how he develops here in this sim, but he is going to be a Chicago Bull at pick 16. What a draft. As we will go ahead and sim to the end, things are lining up here in fantastic fashion for us, as obviously we will go ahead and put our offers out for our guys, and we are now here in free agency. We do have some cap holds we'll need to take care of. So let's take a look. Oh, not in contract extensions and cap hold. I think we're okay relinquishing the rights on all of these guys, which gives us still no cap room. Okay. Priorities, we need a backup small forward and a backup center. Once again, Yao Ming is in here, which would be a really interesting backup guy to bring in, I think. I don't know if I would want a 3-year deal with 30-year-old Yao. I would maybe do a 2-year with a team option, if that's the case. And then at small forward, I mean, we probably, like I said, we're really prioritizing like a nice 3-and-D guy, probably. Not seeing a ton of great options there. Like Caron Butler is decent enough, but he's also ancient at this point in his career. And then anybody else here kind of in the top range is not the best defender. Maybe Michael Pietrus is a decent option at 31, but he's just going to regress. Landry Fields, you know what? Landry Fields might be a pretty decent defender. You know what? I think we'll make a shot here for Landry Fields. We'll give him a 3-year deal. I would say we're happy with that, as we do have 2 agrees to our contract offer. Obviously, none of these guys are pushing the needle as far as guys that are stars, so we are able to bring those guys in here without much hesitation, as obviously Yao is better than Andre Drummond right now. Obviously, once we get through player progression, things probably change in that sense. We also do have some aging talent in the power forward room. Probably are really desperate to make a deal happen there. But look at this here. I mean, we got young CJ McCollum here. Probably would really like for him to find minutes somehow, but he does. I mean, he is a really low overall player coming in. So we'll have to figure out a plan for that. But I think we're happy continuing on with this as our roster, as we will skip ahead to player progression here, as Kemba gets much better. Kyle Lowry gets a little bit better at 27. Carlos Boozer does eventually take a step down. Andre Drummond, like I said, does get better than Yao, but Yao is still a decent enough, especially for what we want him to be, which is a come off the bench and be a great defender for us. And I think we are really happy rolling with that squad into next year, as we will end season 3, I think, right on the precipice of a championship. As long as we can keep this roster together, or at the very least turn this roster into even better assets for us to win a championship with, I think we can absolutely do it. That being said here, that is the end of this episode, and I had a ton of fun with this one. It was really nice to have one where we had a lot of success making some decent deals. I think we came so close to a championship. So if you enjoyed it just as much as I did, like I said earlier, leave a like, comment down below, and hit a subscribe to our channel so we can continue to grow our community and reach some more folks. I can't wait to see you guys in another episode here very, very soon. Take care.